All right, thank you for clicking on the second and last video for our math lesson today. We are beginning lesson 10.1, which is discussing lines, rays, and angles. And our question is, how can you identify and draw points, lines, line segments, rays, and angles? All right, so this stuff is pretty fun. It's just really all about understanding the vocabulary and what it is that we're asking for. So we're going to spend today and touch base with it tomorrow, really understanding what each thing is and how we write them in symbol form. So you should be on this page, which is 381 right here. All right, and we're just going to be looking at the unlock the problem. So I'm going to be star reader for today because we have some things to go through. So unlock the problem, real world. Every day, things can model geometric figures. For example, the period at the end of the sentence models a point. A solid painted stripe in the middle of a straight road is a line. So this question isn't asking us anything, it's just telling us that lots of different things around us can be geometric shapes, lines, angles, points. And we even did a little bit of this last year when we walked around the hallway and you all were finding right angles and straight lines and parallel lines. So if you can remember, I think we did that a couple of times actually. Now we're going to extend that a little bit and learn how to, I'm going to put a box around this column. We're going to learn how to read these things. It's not the color I wanted. Need it. There we go. Okay, well, I guess it just doesn't want to be yellow. That's fine. So it won't be yellow. We're going to really focus on this column, which is reading it, and this column here, which is writing it. Because when we see these, then we're going to be able to know how to draw them. Okay. So all I would like you to do on this page is just draw underneath for each one. So let's go through them, and let me just erase here so that we can see a little bit better. Okie dokie. So the first one is a point is an exact location in space. And they're not talking about space where there's rocket ships and satellites. They're just talking about space as being any space. Your paper, your whiteboard, whatever you're doing in art class. A point is just a dot. That's all it is. We read it as point A because it's labeled with this A, and we write it point A. Let's go to the next one. A line is a straight path of points that continues without end in both directions. We draw it like this. It's a line with two arrows at the end, and it's typically labeled with letters. In this case, they're using the letters B and C. So we read it as line BC, or you could read it the other way, line CB. And you write it just as you see it, except instead of putting the points, you write them underneath. So it's line BC, line CB. Okay, the next one, a line segment is part of a line between two endpoints. So a line segment is one that stops. So notice there's no arrows on the end, which shows me that the line starts at D and ends at E, or starts at E and ends at D, however you want to look at it. So that's a line segment. That's the difference between a line. A line keeps going forever and ever and ever, and a line segment stops. Line segment DE is how we read it, or line segment ED. And we write it like this. It's just a line with nothing on it, and then you write the letters that label it underneath. Okay, and the last one we're going to look at is a ray. A ray is a part of a line that has one endpoint and continues without end in one direction. So it's kind of like the line's baby, right? It has an endpoint and it goes in one direction, but it's not big enough yet to go in both. But anyway, we call this a ray. And so it continues this way, but it never, ever goes this way. So we read this as ray FG, and we write it the same way, just with FG underneath. Okay. So all I want you to do right now is to get your pencil, and you are going to just draw a point, Okay. You're going to draw a line. You're going to draw a line segment. And you're going to draw a ray. That's it. You can pause this video and copy exactly what I did, which is totally fine. I just want you to practice drawing them. We will go over more of the symbols and stuff like that tomorrow, because really the read it and the write it part are going to be the most important for you to understand as we do this lesson. So pause, go ahead and draw your things. All right, so hopefully you are done drawing. And we're going to stop the video right here before we go forth with our lesson any further. Your goal for right now, you may go on Epic, you may go on Storybird, you may go on MobyMax if you need to get some minutes in, okay? Once you are done those things, then you may draw, all right? But listen to me, I don't want to hear that you were giving Miss Millie a hard time. This is your independent time. Oh, you may read a book too, which is totally fine as well. I don't want to hear that you were giving Miss Millie a hard time before recess, okay? If I hear that, we'll talk about it on Tuesday and what we need to do about that, okay? Anyway, I trust that you guys are going to make a good choice, Epic, Storybird, or MobyMax, and then when you're done working on those things, you may read, okay, until recess. So thank you very much.